guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Olivia, and on today's video I'm going to talk about ways to convince your parents to let you get an animal. This topic is very controversial because there's definitely a gazillion ways that you could get an animal. Some of which I wouldn't really recommend, while some of them I think is a really good way to convince your parents to get an animal. So some of the bad ways to convince your parents to get an animal would definitely be to get it for Christmas or a birthday, or two, just to go out and what's that word? Impulse buy an animal. So it's definitely not good to do either of those, because if you get an animal for Christmas, you're most likely not prepared. You don't know all of your research. You don't know exactly how to take care of an animal. So that is definitely why. Like I said, this video is going to be about ways to convince your parents to get you an animal, or for you to buy an animal, to give you permission to get an animal. So anyways, we're just going to start with the ways. First thing you really want to make sure you have down is your reason for getting your animal. So this is very different depending on the person. You need a reason, and you need a reason to give your parents. Your reason might be different from the reason that you're going to give to your parents, but your reason is your reason. So that could be unconditional love, things like that. A reason to give a parent is, I've taken care of my past animals, I've done my chores, I've done everything you asked. Those are reasons why your parent would want to give you an animal. Reasons why you would want to get an animal include to make you happy, to help with anxiety, to do whatever you'd like to do, for entertainment. I really don't know. But the reason for yourself should be deep in your heart, and the reason for your parent should be more convincing. The next thing you want to get down is definitely responsibility. Now this could go over a span of years, this could take over a couple of months, or this could be something that you already have down, and which that should be really important. And you know, that's really the convincing thing for parents, so that's why I definitely would recommend making sure you are responsible. So if you already have animals, you want to make sure that you're still taking care of your other animals, even though you're going to be getting a new one. So this could be, I take care of my animals for a couple months before I get a new one, or I take care of my animals for a year before I get a new one. This is what happened with my bird. So with my bird, I convinced my parents to let me get another animal, and the deal that they made with me was if I took care of my previous animals, which was just a dog and a cat at the time, then I could get a new animal. And I had to take care of these animals for a year before I could get a new animal. And we decided on Milo. And so you really want to make sure your responsibility is on point. More things that could do with responsibility include completing your chores without being asked, doing your chores, taking care of a sibling, some other things, keeping your room clean for a while, helping out around the house without being asked. All these things show responsibility. So you really want to show them how responsible you are, because animals do take a lot of work. Even if it's just a fish, fish take a lot of work too. So there's nothing just like, oh, it's just a hamster. Like, you still have to take care of the animals. You still need to show them love, and you still need to be responsible in order to have that animal. So that's definitely why responsibility is a huge part of convincing your parents to get an animal. I work on my hair up. This is getting intense. So I've filmed this video 3 times, and I just realized that my windows were open, and that's why you could hear rain in the whole first half of this video. But there's really nothing I can do about it now, so you guys are just going to have to deal with it. You want to make sure that you are, what's the word? Oh yeah, you want to make sure you know your research. The things that you want to research when trying to convince a parent is definitely the stinkiness of the animal. I know that sounds like really weird, but parents don't want something that smells really bad in their house. If your animal does stink, or their enclosure stink, you want to come up with ways to help prevent that stink, or to help minimize the stink, just so to put them at ease. The next thing you want to research is definitely the vet care, because some animals, they do need a lot of vet care. So you want to make sure that the animal you have or are getting doesn't require a lot of vet care, and if it does, how you're going to cover the cost of that, and how you plan on taking care of an animal that needs that much vet care. The next thing you want to make sure you know is the advancement of the animal. So you want to know if the animal is beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and you want to prove to them that you're capable of taking care of an animal or even an advanced animal. The amount of space your animal takes up, because if you are trying to minimize space, then I definitely wouldn't go with an animal that needs a 40-gallon tank or anything larger, because there are animals that do need a lot larger space than that. So you really want to make sure you have enough space for this animal. Okay, so the next topic is definitely scheduling. So you want to make sure that when you're trying to convince your parent that you want to get an animal, you want to make sure that your schedule can take care of that animal. So you want to make sure that taking care of this animal won't take up too much of your time, and you want to tell them that I can study and I can take care of this animal. I can go to dance and I can take care of this animal. You want to make sure that you can lay out your schedule and put in the time that it takes for your animal. So say you need to feed your bird veggies on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then you're going to say, I will feed my bird the veggies that it needs after dance on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Or you have your whole schedule laid out so that way they understand. And it's okay to put changes to your schedule once you get the animal. It's just so that way you have an overall plan, even if it's just general. You also want to make sure that if you go away on vacation, taking care of your animal isn't too much of a hassle. You want to make sure that this animal is easy enough for your parents to take care of without all the knowledge that you have from your research. Make sure you know its cost. So definitely startup costs can be really expensive, right? So you could go anywhere from $100 startup cost to $600 startup cost. It's a really wide range just to get your animal and get it to your house with all the supplies that it needs. So when you're discussing cost, you can either set up a deal or you can negotiate. You can say that you meet me halfway. So I pay half of the cost, you pay half the cost, and I'll pay you back. Or you pay half the cost, I pay half the cost, no payback. Or I pay for everything, you pay for everything. Or this is my birthday and Christmas money, just all for this one animal. So you really want to make sure that you have all your costs settled out so you don't have a high expectation and talk to them and you're thinking that they're going to pay for it, but then they're going to be like, no, you're actually paying for that. And you're going to be like, how the heck am I supposed to do that? You also want to make sure you have a source of money. So whether that be allowance or a job or babysitting, you want to make sure you are getting income from somewhere so that way you can fund this animal. Because your parents are going to be happy when it comes 6 months and they find out that they need to pay for food, bedding, substrate, whatever your animal needs. They're not going to be happy when they find out that they have to pay for that on top of whatever else they're already paying. So you really want to make sure that you can fully fund what you're paying. The next thing you also want to do is prepare your presentation. You want to tell them everything that I just told you, but you're going to fill it in with your info, your schedule, your reason, your planning, your cost, everything. And you're just going to sit them down, you're going to explain to them why you want this animal, what will benefit from this animal, how you're capable of taking care of this animal. And you want to seem really, really mature when you're making this conversation. You don't want to whine when they say no. You really want to work at it. It may take weeks, it may take months, or they might say yes right on the spot. It really just depends on your parents, and you also want to figure out what will be the best way to convince them. These are just general ways that work or have worked for me. So you really want to make sure you know your parents like the back of your hand. Guys, I'm really sorry about the audio being really poopy at the beginning of this video, but hopefully it's fine now. You can't hear the rain, but because I remembered to shut my windows. But anyways, that's it for this week's video. Next week I'm going to be in South Carolina. Look at a whole playlist of life on the farm, including animal feedings and all sorts of other videos, so make sure to stay tuned to check those out. And if you haven't already watched my last video, which is a video about the time that I saved a bearded dragon, so you can definitely go check that one out too. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my life on the farm, and also to follow my Instagram and Twitter. I might be making an Instagram specifically for my animals, and I will keep you in touch if I end up making that. And anyways, I am out.